What's up, Internet World? We're the News 19 Nerds. I'm Leroy.
I'm Lauren.
We missing some people.
We are.
Michael and Avery are off, but we knew...
Living their best life or whatever.
Whatever, man. They should have came in.
Right.
But, so you just got the two of us.
Yeah. I don't know if that's better or worse. I don't know.
Because last week they was like, man, you and Michael argue too much. And
Always.
I was like, that's what we do.
I feel like we argue a lot though. Well.
Yeah. You know what? Because we're like brother and sister. That's what it is. And Avery, like whenever Michael's here,
Avery balances,
they balance us out.
Michael balances.
So, what'd you think? Because I'm going to tell you right now, this was the most emotional I've ever been with a TV show.
Emotional. I don't know if it was emotional for me, more so like one of those Weebay, what's his name? Weebay from The Wire?
Yeah. Oh. I'm telling you.
that was my face the whole time. And I didn't watch this on Sunday. I watched it Monday morning today. Because Sunday I was doing crazy things and I wanted to be able to sit down and give all my attention to it. And so I watched it Monday morning and it was just... It connected some dots.
I am going to admit this right now.
Okay. What you better admit?
I have only done this on 2 TV shows. 3. The episode where Will Smith said, "Why he don't want me no more?"
Why he don't want me no more, man?
When they killed Wallace in The Wire.
Oh.
In this episode,
I cried.
I cried. I'm not gonna tell y'all yet. I will get the spoilers.
Did I miss something?
I was emotional because it was just so much.
Okay.
But because you let's catch people up.
I think I know why you cried.
We know Cal is Dr. Manhattan, so we know this was basically how they met.
Yeah. And
I was just overwhelmed by basically this episode explained everything.
Side note, how gross was it in the last episode when she was beating the mess out of his head to get that piece
Some
out?
people brought that up.
I was like, this is very...
Some people,
need his skull. Like...
Some people brought it up. Did you not see the imagery that here's a black woman beating to death a black man to bring out the whites? Yeah. I was like, yo, honestly, I didn't even see that imagery, but some commenters brought it up, and I was like, yo...
Everybody want to be black.
But
let me stop before I get...
Son, this episode was a lot to
It was a lot.
I did not realize how many threads they wove in this to get us here.
Yeah.
It seems
a lot of things were like, oh, like I said, I had that whoa, the whole, yeah.
You were like this, and you were like...
But I thought that every episode did that to me, but this episode really did...
This is the first episode that didn't piss me off. Because some of the episodes would piss you off because you were like, what the...
Yeah.
And you were left with like... This was the episode where I was just like... I'll never be a TV writer. They taught from the very beginning.
I feel like they do the endings before they write the beginning sometimes.
If that's the case...
How do y'all write? TV writers and
TV writers,
movie writers, screenplays. How do y'all write this stuff?
You know what? If you guys find a video of movie writers and television writers having a conversation, post it in the comments because I would like to watch that. Because
how y'all come up with this stuff?
Michael texted me and he brought up, we should talk about the directing and the woman who directed the episode, Nicole.
Yeah, I'm about to say, who directed this one?
It's Nicole. I want to say it's. Her name is
Internet.
I know her name is Nicole. I want to say it starts with a C. But it was very
Nicole Castle.
Castle. Nicole Castle. She directed this episode. If you watched it all the way to the end, her name pops up in that bold yellow lettering that they do. I was just overwhelmed. Like I was just like, what? Like every time a shot or something happened, it answered a question that I had. That I was like, oh
yeah.
And then it really was, what came first, the chicken or the egg? So,
yeah, that was really interesting the way he... Anyway, is this your favorite episode of the season?
No.
Okay.
It is my the pilot episode will always be my favorite episode. Because it sets everything up and it just basically...
That one was wild.
It really was. and it had a lot of elements of that first episode because I really liked a lot of the characters in the beginning. I did like Judd in the beginning. I love Sister Knight. I loved everybody. Cal, the kids.
Yeah.
Louis Gossett Jr. was weird.
Yeah.
I didn't
know,
know
like, how is he going to be able to tie this together?
But this is my second favorite episode of the series so far. I really wish Avery and Michael were here because I really want to know how Avery felt when he saw it.
Yeah.
Because
I feel like when I like the way that they named this episode, a god walks into
a bar,
a bar. I was like, oh, okay, I see what I did there, because y'all gonna talk about how Dr. Manhattan and Angela came together, which is like, could he, because he's everywhere, could he have also been with like other people at this point?
He could have. He could not. I wouldn't say other people, but he could have been at different places at different times.
Yeah.
Splitting his but the funniest thing to me was as I'm watching this,
because I'm like, I got confused. Like,
I
what
was
time
like,
is it? When
the funniest thing to me was, and I know this is, some people may not like this, but I was like, leave it to a black woman to ask the dude that could be everywhere and anywhere at once questions that was. He was like, no, see what it. Oh, okay, over here. I was, because he kept trying to explain stuff, and she was like. So, if I told you this, I mean, he.
I felt like those questions were reasonable. I don't know what you're talking about. Those are reasonable questions.
Son, she was coming with questions, and he was like, so, okay, I can't tell you right now, but in 20 minutes, you will tell me. And then I was like, man. I was like, she is interrogating his ass.
I would too. You telling me you coming over here, you Dr. Manhattan, really? And you love me? And you don't even know what moment it is?
Son.
That you fell in love with me?
Oh.
But you everywhere at all times and different years. And
son, those conversations had me rolling.
It makes sense. Those were really reasonable questions.
I was like dying laughing. It was me and the dog, me and Bamboo sitting there watching the show.
Bamboo.
And the dog was looking at me like, fool, if you don't keep it down, I'm trying to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I need my 19 hours of sleep on this.
Don't sleep for 19 hours.
Dog sleeps all the time.
Man. So.
I guess you want to do it now?
Spoilers!
It's killing you.
Y'all know I can't hold anything. Wow. I really enjoyed how we did not see his face until he came out of Calvin.
Yeah.
And kept Calvin's face.
That's some great directing and great acting. Because you basically
changed the voice. I thought it was a completely different actor.
The back of the head the whole time.
Yeah, I thought it was a completely different actor.
Black Manta, bravo, sir.
That is him.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out where I knew him from.
And Black Mirror.
Yeah. In what episode?
The first one, the last season, with him and Falcon.
Oh yeah. I think I blacked that one out because I was like, yo.
Another episode.
I know too many video game dudes.
Another episode where a black woman starts asking questions and you ain't got no answer.
Oh man, that one was crazy. I was like, this probably can happen.
Go back, guys. If you hadn't seen Black Mirror at season 4, season 5? Whatever, the last season, the first episode. Go watch that.
That took me out. I was like, really, Black Mirror?
That
definitely was him.
My sister watched the episode and was mad as hell. We had a family dinner. Was like, if a man ever. And I was like, I need you to calm down.
If we married, you better not. Yo, I think there were so many conversations from that. Anyways, but yes. So okay, we start the episode. We know that
he's Dr. Manhattan.
We know that he's Dr. Manhattan.
He walks into a bar.
Right, and we see Angela in Vietnam, and they're celebrating Manhattan Day. So he's blending in because everybody's in blue. We even saw this.
But she's mourning the loss of her parents, and it's like that whole. I don't even know how you do that. That juxtaposition of.
Why would she even be out? I wouldn't even be out.
But you know what? I wonder, is it one of those things where you just got off work, you don't want to go home.
Yeah. Because you don't have family.
You don't. And one of the things he said was, she claims she doesn't want family, but everything.
For family.
Yes, that line was. Yeah. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I can never pronounce names, so I know I'm gonna butcher this one. But
Yeah, Cal.
What's his real name, fool?
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to know how to say names.
I know.
You just said Cal.
I did.
That's my line. I was going to say just Cal.
Yahya
Abdul-Mateen.
Yeah, the second. Junior.
If he's not nominated for something,
yeah,
he killed it. And I'm laughing because, not to jump off topic, how did you feel when he walked to Antarctica and he was standing there butt naked? And Vite was like, he's like, how you know it was me? He's like, because you be the only
you don't put that the balls to come over here and be naked.
He was.
He's like, oh,
son,
put some clothes on. I didn't know this was a problem.
There were so many women. I was on Twitter after
he
the
put
episode.
a suit. Oh yeah, as soon as he popped up, I was like, okay, Cal.
So many ageist women. So many people were like, okay, Dr. Manhattan. Somebody was like, we won. I was like, I said, I can't even be mad at y'all. Because I was like, oh.
This was too much.
Because I was like, you know, you used to seeing a dude in blue.
Yeah.
But I was like.
But I feel like, yeah, in the blue it takes away, so it's just like, that's Dr. Manhattan.
No,
he's going to be.
This was Cal. This was all Cal.
I was like,
and it's cold. So I was like.
Off topic, man. We
like,
ain't even there yet.
I was like, yo. But.
He looked good.
He did. I was like, but yeah, what got me about this episode was, again, and I say this, and I can't stop saying it, it was like you finally got the answer to a test. You took a test, you had been studying for it, and you finally got the result, and you passed, and you were like, and you felt relieved, like all of this watching has been for this moment, and you realize
we still have one more episode.
You do, but like, I don't even know what to expect in that next episode, that last episode, but this finally made...
We get some closure with
it. Made everything made sense. Finally.
But it also made me mad because in his conversation with Angela, they're talking about their life, their future. Mm-hmm. It's 10 years down the road, and it's gonna end tragically. And we go to the ending 10 years down the road, and realizes he's talking to her grandfather at the same time.
That conversation.
And started the mess in the first place.
That whole thing, it just kept building. I was like, it just blew my mind. And then when he said, who's Judd? And I was like, yo, he didn't even know.
But when you think about it, I don't know what time that was when he was talking to, and I wish he would just give us a year when he was talking to Granddad. It was 10 years ago. But Judd was just I don't even know where he was at that point, but he might have just been a lieutenant or captain or something. Not captain, but whatever.
He probably was a patrolman.
Patrolman.
But the thing is, he was a part of...
Was he at that time, though?
Yeah, because remember, we saw in the Pedia, he had the letter from his dad.
Yeah.
And he was like,
yeah,
you know, welcome to the Cyclops.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, yo. But I just...
Yeah.
You're right. With the whole... Seeing him create that utopia... And then that whole...
Yeah, I was like, oh, well, how do we get Ozymandias here then? Mm-hmm. Like, how do we get this jail that he's in? And
the funniest thing is, like, so some of the commenters had already noticed or had already figured out, like, when we were arguing about, like, or discussing where was Vite, like, what planet was
Jupiter.
he on. And they had already figured out he was
Jupiter's
on Europa. And they had already figured out that each time we saw him, a year had passed. So now, we're now trying to figure out what year he's in. And so basically
how they figured out a year had passed? Oh, because his birthday. I thought that was weird, and that should have been so obvious, but I thought it was honestly them celebrating, like, we don't know, we were just born kind of a thing. And so
but there was so much that was kind of like
that makes sense to see the birthday cakes there. Y'all.
But it was just to me, it really answered so many questions. And I was overwhelmed, and I keep saying it, because we finally got to see how they got together. And it answered so many questions. Now, we don't know how Lady True ties in all of this, but... do we know if he has memory loss at all? Like, we know there's a 10-year gap that he does not know because of the things she put in his head. So we saw... Again, the writing on this episode was so great because when he was sitting with Angela and she said, you have a great imagination, he laughed and he's like, I'm talking to a friend of mine who says, I have no imagination. And then we saw that scene and we were like, man, like the writers of this show, bravo, because sometimes it made no sense
at all.
And then as the show went on, it started. It's like you got to that point where you're like, oh.
Right. Like I said, I was weeping the whole episode. When he found out he killed the cop. Anyway, can you talk about why you were emotional?
So I was emotional because I was like, you finally got to see Regina King and Cal get to, or Sister Knight and Cal have these conversations, and you saw she got to have this family that she always wanted, even though she didn't want it. Mm-hmm. And you saw Cal, Dr. Manhattan, look out for this one woman and do everything he could to be with her and alleviate her fears without spoiling certain moments. And then you saw what got me was,
because the reason he did that was because he didn't want to spoil her. Mm-hmm. He didn't want to. He knew that they couldn't be together. Him knowing everything. And
not only that, when you finally get to the house, you finally get to the scene in the house where we leave and she's holding the thing. He heals himself. He comes back and he sends the kids to their grandfather. And at first I was like, "You mean the racist white grandfather?" And he was like, and then I was like, "Oh,
you know."
I was like, because if these three kids just showed up out of nowhere after you just got bought off with a check a couple episodes, I was like, man, that's some bad parenting. But when he sent him there, he was walking on the water, and the conversations they kept having, where she was like, we got stuff is going down.
Yeah, we over there making waffles.
Yeah, and so the eggs part. The eggs, and then we saw, remember in season 2, or not season 2, episode 2, when Louis Gossett was making eggs, and then he went across the street, he was able to get out of the chair, and it was just, to me, it was just so interesting how all those things tied together. Then he did the whole thing with the egg here and there, but the part that got me was when she got the guns out of the safe, and she put that jacket on. And she said, "Stay here while I save us or save you." And she went out.
Save Dr. Manhattan?
And she went out there, guns a blazing. I got choked up because I was like, "This is." I'm not knocking Proud Mary. It was a decent movie, but I did not feel when Regina King came out busting caps and just when she did all of that, I was like, "Yo!" And then when you thought she was going to get killed. And then old boy got vaporized, and you was like, and then you see the two of them together. It reminded me of Endgame when Captain America got the
on your left.
When he was like, on
your left.
That's what it reminded. And I was like, yo, and I'm not. Son, I was like, when I heard that, and then Black Panther stepped through, and then you saw Falcon flying through. That's what it reminded me of. I was like, we got two of the most amazing moments in comic book history. And then I was like, they go kill Angela. And I was like, no, don't do it. And then he was like, we don't win. And that's when I was like, no. I know a lot of people got emotional when Spider-Man bit the dust in Infinity War. I was like, he coming back. But I was
y'all had to calm me. I feel like y'all had to calm me down for that. Because I was like, oh my God.
I was like, I knew he was coming back. You don't kill the dude who just made $1 billion. Just like when Black Panther went, I was like, he'll be back.
I thought for a second
I was like,
gone forever.
This is the one time that the black dude is going to make it. But in HBO will kill a dude in a minute. I was like, man. And I thought they were going to kill Angela. I thought he changed time and he came through to save her and she was going to end up dying. And I got so emotional. They said
some kind of tragedy was going to happen.
And so when I saw that happen, and right when I thought they were going to win, I was like, and then they killed Cal, and I was like.
But did they kill him?
I don't know what they did.
Because the next episode, you see him.
I will say this. When Dr. Manhattan went away, I was like, I wasn't ready. I literally posted, I was not ready for this episode.
I think I saw that on Facebook, and I was like, let me go ahead and watch it.
I was like, and the thing is, I was trying to prepare myself mentally and emotionally for this episode. I was like, okay, I ain't gonna drink anything. I'm gonna have my little popcorn right here. I got the dog. I I closed the laptop. I put the phone upside down. I said, "You got me, HBO." And I was like, "Yo, I wasn't ready. I was not."
I think that this episode, because Dr. Manhattan also introduced Angela to her grandfather.
Yep.
And he didn't even know that he
Neither
had
one-
any other. They didn't know that they had
Neither
family.
one of them knew they existed.
And so it's like, I don't want to say that Dr. Manhattan is just like the greatest thing of all time, but clearly he knows what he's, or even if he doesn't know what he's doing,
He's doing something. He's doing something.
helps out, you know. But my only thing is, how did we get to the point where Ozymandias is now in a prison? And is it because of because we now know that the warden is one of the original
Adam and
beings
Eve
that were made, which is still just my thing is like, how is Ozymandias able to make them things? But whatever.
Well, Ozymandias did make him. It was Dr. Manhattan who made him.
But he pulled him out the water.
He figured it out because he'd been there so long. He is one of the smartest men in the world. So he literally realized the extent of his reserve.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm wondering if there was a deal that he made with them that he would never leave.
Yeah.
Because they always wanted someone to serve.
Yeah.
So I don't know where the crime that he committed and what laws he broke.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, what law? What happened?
They were really.
They do not like.
And there were so many moments that made me laugh, like when Ozymandias called out Dr. Manhattan for cultural appropriation.
Yeah,
he was like, it's 2009, bro. That ain't gonna look good.
Yeah, you can't just be walking around here like a black dude now.
I was like, yo.
But I guess he can.
But I was like, because I wondered about that, because again, some of the people in the chat brought it up, like, we cool? How we feel about this? And I was like, I don't know. And then I was like,
yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, okay, so from the Watchmen,
he's white.
He's white.
He's the descendant.
Jewish.
He's descendant of a Jewish German lineage who gets trapped in a nuclear whatever.
Trying to get his wife.
And he dies, and he is reborn, and he decides this time he sees Angela, wants to be with her, and he's like, dude, I'm black now.
Would this body work?
Like when
she was pulling out the bodies, I was like,
like he basically did the video game creator thing where you're like, how will my face look?
Right.
How will my jaw look? Like when Sims. When you make your character creator, he was like, I'm gonna be black. And I was like, like there was so many like.
He was like, I really don't care, so like just let me know what you want.
I was like, yo, but I think that's what.
And just like, well, there is this one guy.
It's like, that was.
He has no family. He died unexpectedly.
Like there were so many moments in this show where it was just like, and when you're in a relationship, when you're like, you okay? No, I'm good. Well, it's funny that
you say that
because she did that thing. He was like, "There's somebody you ain't showing me," and she was like, "I just find it funny that." And I was like, "So you could have just showed him
the whole time?
Like, why are you dragging this out, Angela?" I laughed like this. And again, because I read the source material, because I was a fan, it was so good to see Regina King get to be a badass.
Yeah.
It was so great.
Well, I thought she's been a badass all this whole series.
I mean, she like that first
like
episode.
that was just a top. You know, the gun slinging was just like more of like a top. Because I'm not really the guns person, so I know you probably were like, oh my gosh,
I was
she's
just
really
like,
tactical with this.
So when dude came up,
she's
was
shooting
like,
to me.
He said, hey, she said,
yeah.
So I was like, when she kicked the glass out of the pickup truck,
that was a lot.
And it was just, I was like, yo.
But as soon as I saw her in the car and getting shot up in the car, I was like, oh, it's a Cleo moment. I can't take this.
I was like, look, I just thought that they were going to reverse.
Yeah.
But then when Cal went, I wasn't ready for it. My dog is looking at me like, fool, this is a TV show.
It is.
And
why are you so emotional?
I was like, I wasn't ready. I was like, Bamboo, hold me. So I was like, yo, I really was overwhelmed with this episode because it was just so many different things, and it all made sense finally.
Yeah.
We finally got to see.
Even tying back to the first episode.
Yes, and it tied so much to the original Watchmen. And some people will, from the original comic book, some people for the movie, that whole idea of him and Veidt having that conversation and him saying, I killed all these people, and he was like, I thought you weren't going to have morals, and when you tried to kill me, he was like, and they were friends even though they had both done these horrible things, because if it hadn't been for him, Angela's parents would still be alive, like in Manhattan. And then she challenged him on that. She's like, if you know everything and you see everything, you knew what you were doing. And he said, haven't you ever done something you were going to regret? And I was like, damn. I was like, this dude be having answers. I was like...
Yeah, I don't like that he has answers for everything.
So
I don't think I can have that conversation with him.
But it felt like a real... they felt like a real couple. Mm-hmm. And it was nice to see, even though with all the extra stuff, him being omnipotent and, being everywhere, it was nice to see...
When was Lori Blake with him, though?
She was, and see, that's another thing that we'll get to maybe later when she figures out Cal was. It was.
That's
nice.
why she liked Cal so much.
But that's the thing. It was so nice to see a couple of color in this situation, and it's so funny. Like when you saw Angela with her kids.
Oh, he's colored already. He's blue, baba dee, baba da.
Son, when he said, little boy said, what was that boy? He said, he looks like Cal. And the little girl said, Daddy? So I was like, it was just so many moments that I loved about this. And I was like, I get HBO, but I was like, this comes out on the box set, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like this was one of those things where it wasn't just a love letter to us, fans, people of color. It was just great television.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially after some people say the letdown of Game of Thrones. HBO brought it. Like this whole season has just been like.
And you asked me earlier if I thought this was a black show, and I honestly don't think it's a black show. I think it's just like elements that they pull together that's cool. But the thing is, this feels normal to me. This feels regular. Like it doesn't feel like it's forced. It doesn't feel like. Now to others it might feel like this is some black shit, whatever. Like to others it might be like
some people,
but after seeing Super Black, like Queen and Slim this weekend, this is a regular show. You know what I'm saying?
It really was to me. It really was just one of those things where I was like, this was great television, and to me it serviced new fans who didn't read the comic books, who just remember the movie, who just like HBO and just want to see something different. It was a show for people who want to see superheroes. It was a show for if you were black, if you weren't black. It didn't matter who you were. It just was great television. And it was one of those things where I was just like, man. And honestly, hats off to HBO, because this year they gave us Big Little Lies. Man, that was.
I didn't watch the second season.
The second season was great.
That first season, I was like, all right. I gotta.
Meryl Streep.
I'm
gonna tell you right now, you ain't gonna like Meryl Streep.
Man, see, that's why I don't want to watch it, because they made me Superman.
Hey, let me be like this. You go side against Meryl Streep. She's that bad. Like you could be on what's Andrea think she always looks like? Reese Witherspoon. And I didn't like Reese. I was like, You go like Reese. And that's how bad Meryl Streep was. Dang. But you had Big Little Lies. For those who watched Succession, Chernobyl was amazing.
I still need to go back and watch it.
Chernobyl had my heart. Like, I was like, this really happened. HBO killed it with this. And True Detective. True Detective. Mahershala's sitting right here on the screen. But I mean,
respectable bow.
They really killed it with television, and to me, this was just like the icing on the cake of just like, here y'all go. Y'all thought Netflix was good. We still HBO. Like they literally was like, that's cool. Y'all watch Stranger Things for a little while. You'll be back.
I haven't even. I think I watched Netflix for the first time in a long time on Sunday when I was watching Patriot Act.
Simon Al's show.
Yeah.
Son,
but that's about it.
HBO said, "Oh, go ahead and play with other shows."
I'm even watching Apple TV. Like Apple TV has me hooked on things now. I'm just like Netflix.
HBO.
Get it together.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I know the Emmy noms came out. Netflix had 34 total. HBO had 14 or 15. Every single one of those nominations HBO got was earned.
Yeah.
Good Lord. I mean, this show to me was like a culmination. And again, it's only 9 episodes.
Yeah, and we have one more episode left.
Every episode was so dense. I mean, they literally have a
And
Wikipedia.
I don't even think it's dense. Like, to me, it's not it's a dense show in a different way than Westworld. Westworld was a million leagues under the sea type density. This is just, it makes sense for it to be as dense as it is.
To me, I guess because there's so much minutia that builds to this, like.
But I follow it all.
Yeah. And that may be what it is. Like it's so.
Where I was like, and I come in and you were like, oh, Westworld. I was like, bruh, I fell asleep again, dog. I don't care about this. I watched 2 seasons. I don't care.
But I don't know. I don't know what it is about Watchmen that it just makes sense. And again, to some people, it's not their cup of tea.
No.
Some people, and we talked about this in the chat in the commenters. Some people didn't like that Louis Gossett's character was bisexual, and I had to explain to some people, look, I understand you, for whatever reason, you felt that was forced, and I said, look at it from a different perspective. Mm-hmm. If you were heterosexual and all you've ever seen was heterosexual couples, for those people who are of the LGBT community,
that representation is important.
That representation is important, and so you got to see a little bit of that. This show isn't for everybody. I will definitely say that it's not for everybody. I still hadn't finished When They See Us, because that's just too that's real.
Talk about emotional.
Man, I
cried every episode.
I had to literally pause. I was like, ooh, I'm not ready. I gotta go to work tomorrow.
It eventually ends up being okay, but it's just
you gotta go through.
You gotta go through a lot
to get there. Like I know that, this show, to me, was some of the best television I have seen in a while, and so hats off to Damien Lindelof, Regina King, Cal. Because I cannot pronounce Yahya
I'm just saying Yahala.
You know what? You know what I need to do? We need to go find a talk show that he was on. So when Conan O'Brien announces his name, that we have, and then we can get his correct pronunciation. I'm just saying. Everybody on this show. Jeremy Irons, man, he looked hurt when he was in that little cell.
What were they forcing tomatoes?
So they were just. I was like, yo, will you leave? Oh man.
Yeah.
There's so much. We probably missed some things.
We did, because we didn't even try to go through each scene or anything like that. We just said,
That's why Michael and Avery need to be here.
Yeah, we're
just excited.
We need like a set.
This was amazing. So there's a couple people I wish I had my notes, but I forgot them at home. So I didn't realize that A-Bar was a blaxploitation movie about the first black Superman in the hood. One of the commenters brought that up.
Yeah, I think we talked about this kind of after.
I was like, yo, there's so little things, and somebody was like, do you think they know that? Yes, they knew that. Like they are just
they definitely put that in there for a purpose.
So
but that's real research. That's real character development. That's real trying to make sure that this.
Louis Gossett Jr. being Will Reeves, and that being based on Bass Reeves, the guy who was the original, the original basis of the Lone Ranger who got whitewashed.
Right.
And then he was Hooded Justice. Yeah. Like that whole thing just. I'm not gonna lie. I was overwhelmed. I love the episode. I want to hear what you guys think. So in the comments, let us know. Let us know if we missed something.
I'm sure we did.
There's a lot.
We definitely did.
There's a lot. And the next episode, have they said how long the next episode's gonna be?
I don't know how long but that teaser for the next episode was long.
I was like, 38 seconds.
So it was. I feel like it was longer than that.
The one I watched. It might have been.
It was like a couple. It felt like a couple minutes.
We saw Lori Blake. We saw, and I know this is wrong, and I don't want to say it, but the senator reminds me of somebody running for president right now, or who was running for, president. That swarming. Sorry, 5 for 5.
Not that 4 for 4.
Nah, I gotta get that 5. I need the nuggets. Get one more nugget.
You get 5 nuggets instead of 4?
And you get a drink.
You gonna drink in the 4 for 4 too? What are you gonna? Yeah, you do.
I don't don't think so.
Yeah, you do. You get you talking about Wendy's or?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the I get the junior bacon and then get the nuggets and the fries and then a drink.
You get a double stack, fries, 5 nuggets, and a drink.
So you get all that, but if you just want more.
It's a larger drink too.
All
It's
right.
not a small. Anyway,
Shout out to Wendy's for the show.
Wendy's, our not sponsor.
Yeah.
we just give a shout out to people.
That 4 for 4.
You saw Lori Blake. You saw what looked like Cal.
Yeah.
In a cage.
Yeah. That was Cal.
You know who you didn't see?
Angela.
Looking Glass.
Yeah, I don't know where Looking Glass has been.
I really thought Looking Glass was about to come out one of them cars
and
just start blasting on fools.
I thought, to come track, be like Captain Save-A guy.
Yes.
But no, I don't know where he's been. I don't know if he's just feeling so...
He's underground.
Yeah.
We know he's alive.
His whole life has been just uprooted and just... Because, I mean, that episode where he came out of the fun house and just like, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened? Like, we're asking the same thing,
That's
bro.
going to scar you for life.
He scarred
Not
still.
only
and
that
then to find out
happened,
it was a goof. I did it on a goof. Like, it was just to make
Looking Glass. Where you at, bro?
Man.
We need you to come back. But, yeah, this was a lot. So, hats off to HBO. We want to know what you think. We probably tried to wrap this up a couple of times.
We did.
So,
But then 4 for 4 happened.
it did.
4 for 4.
5 for 5. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, WLText.com. Under the comments, let us know what you think about the episode. What did we miss? What do you think's going to happen in the next episode? We know there is no season 2 scheduled.
Okay.
Damon Lindelof says that if they do work on something, you won't hear anything until after the holidays.
Okay.
If they do decide to do... Now, HBO may say, we good. However this episode ends, the season ends...
It might drop.
It might... HBO may be like, we don't need to do another one.
We don't. I mean, just leave it on the high.
It may just do
Because
that.
y'all love coming back with a second season and it just...
Don't be that great. Well, not HBO. Well, True Detective wasn't that great. I liked it.
That second season of True Detective?
I liked it, but I can see where some people didn't like it. I admit that. But some...
Nah, bruh.
So, let us know what you think. Next week, hopefully, all 4 of us will be here.
You don't know. Lord willing.
Lord willing, because, you know...
You never know.
Michael might still be on vacation.
He might never come back.
You know he in Dallas.
Yeah, I know. Living his best life. So, shout out to Michael.
If y'all in
living
Dallas...
his best life. Or
yeah,
whatever.
if y'all see Michael in Dallas, let us know. And if y'all find Avery, tell him he needs to come back to work.
Right.
So,
Avery's just off today, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
So, guys, we out. Peace.